Alright, so Record of Ragnarok chapter 102 and Apocalypse of the Gods chapter 11. We got some pretty fire leaks this month. More so on the Apocalypse of the Gods side, but we're going to cover everything. Before that though, as always, if you enjoy what you see on the channel and want to stay up to date with all the Record of Ragnarok news and content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop a like on this video. Also, shout out to the members, Adam, and Prophet. With that said, I want to start with the Apocalypse of the Gods because I'm frankly more excited about that right now because we got two major things this chapter going in different directions. The first thing, of course, is that we are going to be starting the Indra and Suzaku encounter, but the fight hasn't started yet in a traditional sense. You see, the epithet for Suzaku and his entire crew is unjust. Basically, this guy cheats. He does anything he needs to do to win and to progress. When he has a goal, this is what he does. Like, any means necessary. I actually kind of like this. But what's effectively happening is that he sent the other guys that we saw that he was with, White Tiger, Black Tortoise, Asura Dragon, although one of them's not there, he sent them to go apprehend Indra before he could even get to the arena. So what we're left with now is that Indra is going to have to fight off the other members of Suzaku's crew to even make it to the arena, and Yara basically announces that if Indra doesn't make it in time, they set a time limit, like Suzaku is going to be announced the winner. So this is a pretty slick strategy. We haven't seen anything like this before, and it is pretty crazy. It's going to hype Indra though. I think he of course will make it to the arena. It's just how much is he going to have to endure to make it? How fatigued will he be? Are they going to just hype him to the moon, say he no diss these people, or is he actually going to have a tough fight, come to the arena already bloodied, beaten down, and then Suzaku's an easier road to victory? Because I think that that's the idea anyway. It's like either they beat him, or by the time he makes it there, he's going to be so weak that Suzaku can take him out without having to strain too much. It could be really insane if they let Indra beat all these guys in succession, including Suzaku. But we'll have to see how this goes. We get to see Shiva talking about it, and Shiva has full confidence in Indra. He says Indra will be fine. It's not clear if he knows specifically what's happening, but he knows that they're fighting these guys that are snakes, so to speak, and they're unjust. Like Brahma talks about it, that these guys are dangerous and that they're known for doing these underhanded things, and Shiva just has full confidence in Indra. We also get a flashback of the Indra versus Rudra fight in an amazing panel. I love this panel. Can't wait to see more from Indra, man. They're hyping him up. Guy looks awesome and got me hooked right away. The other major thing is Belellio. I didn't know if we were going to get much on Belellio right now. I thought that maybe we would get more hype on him later, but obviously last chapter we got a lot of build for him to be a sleeper in this tournament. He had his eyes keenly on Wukong, but we see that Zeus actually thinks that Bellio's a problem because Bellio's been like wreaking havoc around the area, I guess, just causing destruction or whatever. So he sends these two gods to go do something to him, like apprehend him or like, you know, kind of make sure like he's not out of line or something. And it's the goddess of victory Nike and the god Zulus. I'm not sure who that is. As always, I'm sure somebody in the comments will know. But he basically sends them to go hunt down Belellio and like make sure he doesn't mess with any of the like participants in the actual tournament or mess with the tournament, disrupt things. And basically what happens is like these guys, when they actually get in the face of this guy, Zealous is like, you can see he's visibly sweating. The aura from Belellio is crazy. There's some great panels of Belellio just exuding aura. He's terrified really when he sees him face to face. And Belellio is given the epithet the Untouchable. We obviously found that out last chapter, and he kind of like shows us a little bit of what that's going to be like in the chapter. It's a little bit confusing right now. I'm sure it'll be more clear in the actual chapter, but basically like he gets up right in this guy's face. It almost looks like he blitzed him. He stops him from pulling out his sword. We don't really see the aftermath of this, but Belellio basically is going to have some ability where obviously it's going to be extremely hard to actually reach him and to actually hit him or whatever the case. I don't know all the details on it yet, but all I'll say is that the Belellio hype is crazy right now. Zeus is worried about him. He's already got him in the back of his mind, so this could be wild. And for the people that think like Zeus is going to end up joining this tournament, replacing the person labeled as Hydra, you know, this could lead to Belellio versus Zeus in the actual tournament. Also, another little cool detail is that Belellio seems to be watching Zeus versus Cronus on his TV. Now, it does look like it's like an animation of it, so I don't know if this is just like a TV show in Valhalla that's depicting it, or if this is just a drawing choice and it's supposed to be for comedic relief. I'm not really sure what's happening here. Probably clarified in the chapter, hopefully. But that tells you that he's got his eye on Zeus as well. So the plot thickens as far as that goes. Bellio's a problem. Watch out for this dude. Now let's move over to Record of Ragnarok. So as we talked about in the preview prediction video, this is going to be a Simo backstory chapter. It seems that the entire chapter is Simo's backstory. I talked about in the prediction video, I thought that it was going to potentially go down the road of some of the other human fighters where they show him as a child, because we had kind of already gotten a teaser toward what he had done in the military, but that's not actually the case. We're just simply going to see military exploits from Simo. They talk about, his extensive record, how he had never missed a shot. But the major thing that they want to reinforce is that Simo's a good dude and that he has severe PTSD from killing. He hates killing. He could not sleep ever after the first man he killed. He recites the numbers of the men he killed. He remembers all of them. He wears the mask to try to keep himself sane. And basically, he doesn't let anybody else know. He conceals all this because he needs his men to have full faith in him, trust in him, and belief in his composure, because obviously all their lives are on the line. It ends up with Simo actually getting shot by a sniper that apparently was a mistake. The sniper was cornered and he didn't even really mean to shoot Simo, but he actually did. And that's of course how he got the wound to his face. In real life, he did I'm pretty sure it was an explosive round to the face, and his face was disfigured. So that's kind of like their explanation of it in this series, and they end up leaving him off in a wheelchair, finally finding salvation with this pretty cool quote that says, "I feel like I was saved just a little. It was salvation." That day, Simo's battle ended as a sniper. His official record was 542 kills, the most in human history. The greatest sniper in human history, who shot further than anyone else, was a man kinder than anyone else. So it's pretty cool just building Simo up as this great dude. Obviously a juxtaposition to Loki, who's the most deceitful. So the most deceitful versus the most kind-hearted potentially is our matchup here. Kind of a reverse Jack the Ripper Hercules. Obviously we got more information on Jack the Ripper later, but that's kind of how it was built initially. So this is cool. Next month I'm sure we're going to be back to the action, but they had to obviously establish Simo's backstory. So let me know all your thoughts on this information, both for Record of Ragnarok and Apocalypse of the Gods. Are you hyped for Suzaku versus Indra? I know I am now. I posed some questions like, how's the author going to hook everybody into this, because these guys aren't as popular as some of the guys in the previous rounds. I think that they have nailed it so far. They've already got me extremely interested because this is super unique. A fight before the fight. Indra has to run the gauntlet to get to the actual arena. This is going to be sweet. Of course, stay tuned for all the coverage. The full breakdowns for both videos will be up as soon as possible. I'll see you guys then. Peace.